Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Principals on the Come Up, where we transform schools into Hallelujah success stories. I'm Barbara Polk. I need to ask you some questions. And these are questions that, sometimes you keep something inside your head, but you don't have the words to say what you see to come out of your mouth because you don't think that that's the right thing to say or you're not in the right environment. But I want to talk to you today about three questions to ponder. And the first one is, how often do we as principals take the time to truly understand the challenges and triumphs of our best teachers? And as principals, our plate, everything is full. And sometimes you see some things and you just don't say anything about it. But I want to know what you're doing, especially right now, to make sure your teachers, especially your Black teachers, feel supported, valued, and motivated to stay. Because, we are in this era now of retaining teachers and attracting teachers. And nobody is saying anything about our Black teachers. And the other question I want to ask you, if something that I found out just recently about Black teachers, and that they are the smallest percentage of all teachers. I'm talking about those teachers who identify themselves as white, those teachers who identify themselves as Hispanic and others. Black teachers have the smallest percentage. So my question is, if Black teachers have the highest morale, despite being the smallest percentage of the workforce, what does that say about the potential that we're missing when it comes to empowering and retaining them? But before we get into that, I want to tell you a personal story about my experience as a Black teacher. Well, after I graduated from HBCU, which is Prairie View A&M University in Prairie View, Texas, I was so excited to land my first teaching position. And it was at a school with an outstanding reputation. As a matter of fact, it was known as the university. But there was one thing that made me stand out. One of the few Black teachers in the entire school. Most of the teachers and the students just didn't look like me, but I was ready to make my mark because, I graduated from Prairie View and there was nothing that they could give me that I could not do. But, when I started teaching, I met with some resistance, my supervisor, she was quick to criticize me, constantly saying that I wasn't meeting her expectations as a teacher. No matter how hard I worked, no matter how dedicated I was to doing the work, how dedicated I was to my students, I just couldn't seem to gain her approval. And eventually my contract wasn't renewed and I was fired. So now, remember, this is a small city, and central administration at the time was predominantly white, which meant I wasn't given another chance to return to teaching, and I was devastated. Teaching was my passion, and it seemed like the door was just closed to my dream. So years went by, and I worked in different fields, and I grew my skills, and I became more, articulate to be able to explain, what I was seeing and what I was saying. I was organized, I was focused, and I gained a positive reputation in the community. And then, as fate would have it, I was hired again as a teacher, but this time at the very high school I had graduated from. The difference was night and day. My principal and my colleagues, they were just incredible. And they supported me, and I was presented with all types of opportunities to excel and to grow as a teacher, and I thrived in that environment. In fact, I thrived so much that I eventually became an assistant principal and later a principal of several schools in the same district. But here's the most ironic part of the story. I eventually became the principal of the very school where I had been fired years before. You know, we'll take a pause on that one. The very same school. So, that experience, I held it down for so long, and I didn't talk about it. I didn't say anything about it. I was ashamed. I didn't feel as though, I was worthy. I was embarrassed, and but that experience taught me something that was crucial, and that is the environment that you work in, the support that you receive, and the beliefs that others have in you can make a difference in your success. And so that brings us to today's topic. And I'm asking you the question, what are we principals? What are we doing? And what can we do to support those who are doing the work? And why it's so, so important, especially when it comes to Black educators. Hi, my name is Dr. Barbara Polk, and I come each week to provide guidance to new and returning principals. I know your plates are full, just like I said earlier, and you have everybody coming at you, pulling at you. So I come to, give you some guidance, give you some support. And as a principal of an underperforming school, I knew and I know how much help and support is needed. And what I have been able to do is to turn underperforming schools into what I like to call Hallelujah success stories. So I've turned several schools around as a principal, and through my consulting and mentoring program. I don't minister, but I guess I could. I continue to mentor principals to transform their underperforming schools into Hallelujah success stories. So what I want you to do is look at the links below or above, wherever they may be, and join our Facebook group and gain information where all of this information is stored. And you can share it with others. If you're already a member of Principals on the Come Up, all you have to do is invite your friends, and they're automatic members because of you. And you can get some free resources. And for those of you who are on YouTube, please like and subscribe because that really, really helps my content. So, as I reflect on my journey from being a teacher who has faced resistance and doubt to becoming a principal in the very school where I was once fired, I learned something valuable. And that is the environment we create for our teachers can either build them or to tear them down. It was a saying that would go around about principals who would sit and go over evaluations with teachers, and we would always say, build them up before you tear them down. And I really think that the tear down part should be eliminated. I really do. So, interestingly, I recently read Education Week, and it looks like they did some research. And the research in Education Week said that despite Black teachers being the smallest percentage of the teaching workforce, they report the highest morale. Wait a minute, y'all. I think we're having some problems.